friends, this is Alex of Coyote Star Astrology. Welcome back to my channel. This is my video for the full moon in Aquarius coming in on August 11th, 2022, which is a Thursday here in California. However, please do adjust for your current location on the planet as that time and date may change. And I feel like I am speaking with all of you on the other side of an insane earthquake. That Mars-Uranus conjunction at the North Node did not disappoint. I don't know how you all are feeling. I'm feeling a bit exhausted. Just been processing so much. That was so, I suppose, exactly what I thought it would be in a lot of different ways. But still, especially with Uranus, because Uranus, the awakener, does rule electricity, and it's just this really electric, fast moving energy. It's a bit rattling for the nervous system sometimes. So I've been just sort of recuperating and processing and integrating. And interestingly enough, that's what this full moon is sort of about in a lot of ways. And I think that's actually part of what I'm feeling. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, and I've mentioned this before, but part of the reason that I try when I can to get these videos out a few days before the new moon or full moon event is that it's actually very common that we feel the energies more during the buildup, the few days before, because, you know, once that new moon or full moon comes in, that's the event, and then it's done, you know? So it's sort of those days leading up after that last quarter square that really kind of bring in this energy. And we are looking at, here's our moon at 19 degrees Aquarius. And this moon isn't the most lighthearted. It's a bit serious here because the moon is conjunct Saturn. And not only that, but it's opposing the moon in Leo, which would love to feel fucking great. Nothing like a sun in Leo to want to shine and want to feel buoyant and energized and excited. But unfortunately, due to the opposition to Saturn during the full moon and the days right after when the moon transfers through those first degrees of the 20 degrees that Saturn's in, yeah, it's going to be not exactly the brightest Leo feeling out there, I don't think. And that's also because if we look at the chart, look at this big grand square we have happening. Look at that. So in many ways, this full moon feels like a bit of a progress report for a lot of the themes that we're looking at for the entire year, especially the challenges of 2022, I'm sorry to say. You know, I keep it real around here. And it's really funny because, you know, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I'll put my Instagram up there right now. I do want to bring this topic into this channel just because I think that it is important. Me with my triple Scorpio chart, I really like to keep it real. I like to go deep with astrology, but more than anything, I really like to preserve the integrity of astrology because astrology is already so vastly misunderstood and misrepresented. And just yesterday, as I'm filming this video, we had the 8/8 portal that so many spiritual influencers out there celebrate as the quote Lionsgate portal, which is supposedly this alignment between the sun and Sirius and Orion's belt or whatever. It's actually fundamentally astrologically untrue. The sun and Sirius and Orion were not in alignment yesterday. It's kind of a new age trend that, thanks to a few other astrologers who have gone much deeper into the subject than I have myself. Apparently, this traces back to around 2012, when there was a lot of shifts in consciousness happening and the emergence of what I lovingly call the New Age nightmare, which is sort of honestly at its root I think, a pretty dark thing, but that's a different video for a different time. Anyways, the point being is that Lionsgate portal, and no judgment out there if you felt called to celebrate that day in your own way. And if you felt particularly energized by that Leo energy, especially, because we do have Leo in trine to Jupiter, you may have recently. But so no judgment there, but astrologically, Lionsgate portal is not a thing. It's a new age trend. And, if you have been feeling a little more of this Saturn energy, I guess is my point, that's actually what we're seeing more reflected in the chart right now. Because unfortunately, while Saturn is in Aquarius, our Leo seasons aren't as Leo as they would like to be, because as these planets transfer through Leo, where they want to be feeling really confident and celebratory, they have to face off with Lord Saturn, which is in cold, icy Aquarius. Not to mention square the nodes. Not to beat a dead horse here. We've been talking about the nodes in Scorpio and Taurus for a long time, but I digress. So this full moon to me, and it's actually kind of appropriately placed. I feel at this moment in the year, we're sort of, believe it or not, now that we're on the other side of that Mars-Uranus conjunction, which was a huge growth spurt. Believe it or not, we're at this point almost in a little bit of a sacred pause. It's still intense, but we're in a little bit of a calm before the storm, because this eclipse season is gnarly, because we've got our Scorpio Taurus axis. Eclipses happen at those nodal gateways. And we're going to have a partial solar new moon eclipse in Scorpio on October 25th Pacific Standard Time, followed by Taurus full moon total lunar eclipse on November 8th. So our eclipse season this fall is gonna be a bit of a wild ride. We also have a pretty extreme Mars square Neptune transit that's gonna be coming in. So we've got a lot ahead of us. But this full moon is sort of this serious and sobering pause and illumination, as full moons tend to illuminate things, I feel, around where we're at. Especially when we look at the archetypes and we understand that Aquarius has this ability to sort of step back and objectively observed from a somewhat emotionally detached place exactly what's going on. And when we look at what the moon is observing, it's observing with this square in between the nodes, where am I at in my evolutionary journey out of the darkness of Scorpio, whatever that represents in your life, into my evolution into the North Node in Taurus, which represents a lot more stability, health, wellness, self-love, boundaries, financial security, etc. So if you're not feeling exactly like you're in the North Node yet, I think that that's quite normal. I think that myself personally, especially during that conjunction at the end of last month at the North Node, I really felt almost like a 50-50 split in my own life of, okay, I can now clearly see the scorpionic energies in my life that I'm being asked to detach from, those unhealthy habits or relationships, or the shadow nature, unprocessed traumas, things like this. That's very classic South Node Scorpio. And that conjunction might have definitely been a moment where you did quantum leap, even if it was just with your perception, into what this new North Node Taurus reality might be for yourself. But the journey is not even close to being over. I mean, we're only here at 17 degrees. So we have quite a few months left of this evolutionary process of healing. Healing is a big part of this with South Node Scorpio energies. So this full moon in Aquarius feels like an objective observation point where we're sort of able to take stock and look at where we're at in that process. And one thing that I do really love about this chart that I think is helpful regarding those themes is we see that Mercury here in Virgo is making this nice little supportive trine to the North Node in Taurus. So all of those North Node Taurus themes that I just discussed regarding health and wellness, etc., who better to help you with that than Mercury in Virgo, that is very practical, logical, analytical, very much focused on health, particularly in the holistic sense, and is very detail oriented. In other words, what exactly do I need to do to get to that North Node? What are the health choices? That's a big one with Mercury in Virgo, particularly in the holistic sense. What are the holistic health choices that I can be making for myself that are going to help me on the day-to-day elevate into that North Node Taurus healthier reality? Virgo is also about daily tasks, to-do lists, organization, purity of space. So this can be about getting organized and sort of streamlining life in a very detail-oriented, productive way around what we need to do in order to make those healthy, positive choices. But yeah, I mean, a moon conjunct Saturn is, if you see this in a natal chart, this is someone that can have like a kind of a very serious emotional landscape. It's in many ways almost like a Capricorn moon, of course, because Saturn rules Capricorn. So this does have that sort of heavier Capricorn flavor to it, this full moon. But what is that good for? Well, Capricorn is really good at responsibility, discipline, tasks. I really like to use the word sober with Capricorn because it is that kind of no nonsense, it's like none of the fantasy. It's like, where am I really at? What are my responsibilities that I need to show up for? Um, and in the opposition to the sun in Leo, which of course represents what we're trying to create, what we're trying to express, who we're trying to love, all of those things. So I think that this full moon is going to serve as a bit of a kind of snapshot or progress report around exactly where we are in this quite intense unfolding nodal journey. So while it may not be the most exciting full moon I've ever seen, I think that it's really good for getting a really good idea of exactly where we are and sort of getting ready um, in a very healthy way and a very responsible way for the energies that are coming up into eclipse season. Sort of almost like assessing our year and knowing that those eclipses are coming around that Scorpio Taurus axis, really, especially because you know your personal journey. You've been dealing with these nodes, Saturn square these nodes all year. So, as I said before, you know your shadow at this point, right? You know the life that's available to you if you do the healing and you make the changes and you let go of the things that you need to let go of. Scorpio does not let go of things easily, that's for sure, because it deals with attachments and addictions and things like this. So when we think of it in that context, especially because this eclipse season is so scorpionic and spoiler alert, has a lot to do with the truth. Because in our first eclipse, and actually maybe I will just open that up. Oh, well, look at that. It's already in my thing. Love that. Okay. So in our first eclipse, okay, this isn't actually perfect. There we go. Okay. So in our first eclipse here, what do we see? We see this is on October 25th. And also, spoiler alert, a big reason that I'm going into this eclipse during this video is that I am unfortunately going to be needing to step away from this channel for a little while because of surgery that I'm having in a couple of days. And I'm actually going to do a live stream probably, maybe I'll even do it. Ooh, maybe I'll do it on the full moon, guys. Yeah. Yeah, I think that that would be cool. Maybe I'll do it on the 11th. I'm going to be here on YouTube doing a live stream to tell you guys about the health stuff I've been going through, how long I'm going to be gone, all that stuff. Um, I'm not looking forward to this process or leaving this channel for a while. It sucks, but that's part of why I'm going into this right now, because I may not be able to later. So here's a little glimpse into the eclipses. So first eclipse on October 25th. We have a new moon in Scorpio conjunct Venus. So right away, there's some pretty intense like inclination towards relationship themes because Venus at the South Node. If there are relationship themes during this eclipse, trust that they're going to be very, very karmic ones because of that South Node gateway. These are past life contracts, past life issues, scorpionic issues tend to deal with secrets, things that are hidden from view. And when we look at the North Node during this eclipse, Uranus is still there. So these contracts and anything that is shrouded in the light is going to be forced out into the open because Uranus, the awakener, is going to make sure that it is. Also, when we look at the ruler of this eclipse, which is Pluto, because Pluto rules Scorpio, Pluto is square to Mercury in Libra. So again, relationship themes, a square to Mercury from Pluto often deals with that scorpionic aspect of communication, which can also be secrets. And Mercury in Libra is a little bit of a people pleaser. It wants to do what makes other people happy, which is actually kind of a part of bending the truth, right? So, and if it's not relationship themed, it's likely to involve whatever other scorpionic themes you've been dealing with this entire year. And I said this on my Instagram before. I think I said it in the last video. This is a really intense chart for anybody that is dealing with a dangerous addiction to any kind of substance. If that's you or anybody that you know and care about, definitely don't be taking risks during this eclipse around anything like that. This is a pretty volatile spread, especially because we have Uranus there at the North Node where accidents can happen and unexpected things can occur. So that's just me trying to send my love out there, wanting everybody to be safe. And of course, in this eclipse and the second eclipse, we have Saturn not only square the node still, but Saturn in a very tight, destabling square to Uranus again. So we've been dealing with that Saturn Uranus square off for forever now, which is making stability in life hard to find because Saturn is where we have stability and Uranus is where things are constantly turbulent and changing. So having the two in square so tightly again during this eclipse does suggest that it's going to be another one of those rocky times personally and collectively. So let's look at the second eclipse, which I don't know if I have in here. I'm going to be really surprised if I do. I didn't intend to go and do this. No, I don't. Okay. It just occurred to me because I may not be able to do these videos later that maybe I should just talk about it now. So thank you for your patience. Okay. One really annoying thing about Astro Gold. Love you, Astro Gold, but it always changes it to Australia because I believe that this program was made in Australia. Anyways, okay, so we want to look at November 8th, 2022. And here we go. Let's get this exact. We got to get the moon to 16. Okay, there we go. So here's our November 8th eclipse at 16 Taurus. So once again, here, because the full moon will be in Taurus, this is a North Node full moon. So between the first eclipse and the second eclipse, there's obviously a lot of change because in that first eclipse, we had all that south node activity. The second eclipse with the full moon at the north node suggests that we've gone through some type of transformative process, bringing us even further into that north node. But because of that Uranus presence again, it's not like this can come with shocks and unexpected events and illuminations and awakenings and epiphanies and all of that kind of erratic energy. But again, in this eclipse, ruler is Venus in Scorpio, because she's the ruler of Taurus, right? She's the kind of ruler of this eclipse. And, you know, Venus is being squared by Saturn. So, when anything is squared by Saturn, that planet is not operating as its best self. I love Venus in Scorpio. I have Venus in Scorpio, but she's a bit of a wild girl. And when she's being squared by Saturn, she's a bit of a dark princess. Psycho bitch also comes to mind. Yeah. In all seriousness, though. Oh, and then also Mercury in Scorpio, which again deals with secrets, hiding the truth, is also being squared by Saturn. So collectively, not to sing the same song that's being sung forever and ever and ever by truthers all over, it does look like an eclipse season where a lot will come to light politically, etc., but on a personal level as well, because this is going to be an eclipse season of deep, deep shadow work. And I can feel kind of a wave on the other side of the screen of collective exhaustion, which, trust me, I myself share with you, like, really more? Yes, more. And so coming back to this Aquarius full moon that this entire video was going to just be about, that's why I say that this Aquarius full moon is a really good time to take stock, because it is that objective glance into the doorways or the windows of potential extreme energies coming up this eclipse season. So we really want to have those goals in mind. We really, really want to let go of the scorpionic element. Okay? Because this eclipse season, if we haven't, it's not going to be fun, is all I can say. Don't have secrets. Don't have those addictions lingering around. Dive into that healing work of any of the shadow stuff that's been coming up this year. Get rid of toxic relationships. If you're the toxic one in the relationship, get to work, get to work on those aspects of shadow self, those unintegrated childhood wounds or unintegrated aspects of the psyche that are screaming for your attention, because that's really what Scorpio is about. Take it from somebody who has a lot of it. It's Scorpio is about the shamanic alchemical process of bringing shadows to light, healing, becoming your own healer, becoming your own shaman. So, my loves, as I said, I'm going to be doing a live stream. I think it feels really good for me to be doing that actually on the full moon. So I will make sure to tune in on my Instagram, which, by the way, will be fully functioning throughout the rest of the year. So even though I have to take a little sacred pause and step back from this channel, it breaks my fucking heart, I will be able to type. So I'm probably going to be very active on Instagram throughout the rest of the year. So if you're not already following me there, keep in touch with me there so we can continue playing in the magical world of astrology together, my favorite thing to do. And as I said, I will probably be maybe making a little announcement on my Instagram about my live stream on YouTube, where I talk about what's going on with me and where this channel is headed and the upcoming Patreon and lots of fun stuff. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm wishing you all a beautiful full moon in Aquarius. And I'm going to put my website and Instagram up there on the screen. I am taking names on my wait list for readings, and I'm reaching out to those who are on it as soon as I have openings. So if you're interested in getting on that list, you can just reach out to me through my website at coyotestarastrology.com. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Have a beautiful rest of your day or evening, and bye for now.